Right now, just 4% of students entering high school in South Los Angeles are graduating from college. For us, that's unacceptable. If I could think of one word to describe what a school should do for its students, is to empower them for the future. So I chose the name Empower for our school name. For our students to be fully empowered means to be strong in mind, body, and spirit. Strong in mind means having the academic skills to be successful. Strong in body deals with the personal habits of health and well-being. And strong in spirit deals with the character traits our kids need to be successful, not only in college, but also in life after college.
At KIPP Empower, we really stress the importance of emphasizing the whole child.
Our students are coming in from all different levels. Some have been to preschool, some have been to Head Start, some have not stepped foot in a school setting before. We assess the students coming in to know exactly where they're coming in at, and then we make sure they're getting instruction at their level. We're very fortunate that our students get to start with us in kindergarten, so we get to mold and shape their perspective of what school can and should be for them.
Mr. Kerr stands, opens the gate every day, tells the students good morning, calls them scholars. It just shows like, wow, you really care about how my student is doing.
Students need support. They need a loving environment where it's okay to take risks and make mistakes. We have great expectations for our scholars. We want them to be goal-oriented and live the 4 values, which are work hard, be nice, stay strong, and make good choices. But we also want them to have fun and be kids and learn and laugh throughout the day.
When the California budget crisis hit, we lost out on a key source of funding known as class size reduction. New and growing charters didn't have access to this pool of funding.
In essence, we lost about $200,000 from the state. So to make up for that, we had to increase our class sizes from 5 classes of 20 to 4 classes of 28. However, we didn't want to have that adversely affect the quality of education our students received.
We had to come up with a new and innovative way to provide high-quality education to our children here in South Los Angeles.
So we chose to adopt the blended learning model for our kids. Blended learning means that our students both learn from the teachers as well as from the computers to make sure our students are in small groups for the 4 core content areas.
Our blended learning model has 3 configurations. During science and writing, half of the class rotates between the lead teacher and the computers. In reading, we divide the class into 3 groups that rotate between 2 teachers and a computer station. During math, the class is divided between 2 teachers who may utilize the computers for additional support. This allows the classrooms to have 2 adults in the room for most of the day and ensures a 14-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio or better.
I didn't know what small group instruction was before I came to KIPP. It was always having a class of 30 to 35 kids and kind of teaching to the middle, hoping that the high kids don't get too bored and the low kids kind of catch up.
So the small group instruction really allows us to differentiate our lesson plans for the students no matter what their needs are. They're rotating in specific centers and stations, as well as small groups with their teachers, be it an intervention teacher or even their classroom teacher.
Keeping computers inside the classroom rather than utilizing a separate computer lab is also critical to providing a cohesive learning environment. The computers can be utilized throughout the day in various subjects as needed. This model ensures that the students working on the computers are integrated in the classroom setting with their teachers and classmates.
The technology in the classroom serves 3 roles. First, it frees up the teachers to work with small groups. Second, it develops the students' 21st century skills. Third, because it uses adaptive technology, it will zoom the students forward if they're accelerating, and it'll cycle back if they're struggling.
The computers are not intended to replace the teacher. They're intended to focus our attentions better and more systematically on what are the needs of each of our individual children.
They come in a lot of times not having any experience with the computer. I teach them how to log in and how to develop basic computer skills.
By having our students rotate on and off the computers throughout the day and working in small groups with their teachers, they're receiving a much better education and they're loving the learning process. One of our challenges that we face is that there's not one content provider that has enough content for our students in reading, writing, math, and science. So we had to choose from different content providers. The problem that posed for us is that we would have students having to log on to different websites and learning different usernames and passwords, and that would be very challenging for primary age students to do. So we had to create the Launchpad. The students click on the teacher's picture, they click on a picture of themselves, they click on a picture password, and it zooms them into the Launchpad.
Within 2 weeks, they have memorized their usernames, they can type in their passwords, they feel completely comfortable.
The computer was new for my son, and now I see more enthusiasm getting on the computers.
They really show a lot of pride in their accomplishments. You see them kind of singing and dancing because they're having fun learning.
When you introduce technology such as iPads, a student with special needs can really easily access a lesson on their own.
If a child needs help with phonemic awareness or rhyming, they can sit down and play a game on the iPad, and they're having a lot of fun using them.
The teacher dashboard collects data of how the students are doing from the various software programs the students are using in reading, math, writing, and science. It also collects data of how the students are doing from their in-class quizzes. So we have in one location all of the data of how the students are doing by standard, by skill, and it makes it very easy for teachers to look through and see how the students are progressing in each of the areas.
This allows us to identify where students are struggling or falling behind.
So if a particular child is having trouble with recognizing letter sounds, I can find that in the data even if I haven't picked up on it in class.
Data really informs which students go into which groups.
This also helps us modify our lessons in order to support their individual needs based on this data.
At KIPP, we're all about results. If we don't focus on results, we'll never know where our children are, and we'll never know what they need to help them truly be successful.
We have a really, really good academic curriculum in place. If you look at test scores, grades, from spelling to math to language arts, they're excelling. They're achieving above and beyond.
After just 1 year with us, 94% of our students scored at or above the national average on the nationally normed MAP test in math, and 54% scored in the top quartile in math. In reading, 96% of our students scored at or above the national average, with 76% scoring in the top quartile.
At KIPP, we believe in more time.
Having a longer school day enables us to make sure we're doing more than just reading, writing, and math. We're also ensuring that students have science every single day. They have an hour and a half of foreign language each week, an hour and a half of physical education each week, and about an hour on the computers each day.
I love working with teachers who are incredibly driven and smart and incredibly hardworking.
And the expectation that we have for ourselves as faculty and staff is to come to school ready to support each other, but also have fun and really grow with each other.
What gets me up in the morning is knowing that I get to come to a work environment where all of my students are going to learn.
Whatever it takes, we'll get it done.
The staff members here, the families, the parents, the kids are all part of a big extended family. We're all working really hard to make sure that our kids succeed.
Being a teacher in an environment much like the one I grew up in, it enhances my passion to do what I'm doing because I know what's at stake for them. I know that it's very important for them to succeed here, starting in kindergarten and in first grade, because this just sets a trajectory for the rest of their life.
We want our students to lead lives of significance, to be critical thinkers, to be leaders, and to be on a trajectory that maximizes their potential.
We believe that demography should not determine one's destiny, and every day we're proving what's possible in public education.
We are KIPP Empower Academy.